Hello and welcome back to Flight Sim World, and today the first thing you're going to notice is for some reason I have Dovetail Flight Sim World, the actual bar at the top, the program bar up, the application bar. Why do I have that up? Well, today I'm looking at two DLC, both by, is it FS Flight Control or something like that? Let's find out. Yeah, Flight Control info, here we go, let's bring up the info, there we go. FS Flight Control, fs-flightcontrol.com. I'm going to be looking at View and Slew for Flight Sim World, as well as Moving Map for Flight Sim World, and give you my thoughts on this and what I think and whether I recommend them or not. If you're here for a video that's going to be flying around a lot, unfortunately you're going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be doing too much flying in this video. I'm going to be doing a little bit, but not too much at all, depending on how the simulator responds to me right now. But I am going to be looking at two DLC that you may have seen on the Steam market, and I'm going to give you a clue as to what I feel about these. What I feel about these DLC and whether or not they are good in my opinion. So we're going to start with let's start with View and Slew. Why not? So this is the control for View and Slew. Now the first issue I'm going to talk about on both of these is that they are not integrated into the sim. So they're not available up here from an add-on. They're not available with the pop-in interface in the sim. I have to actually have the programs running outside the sim and then connect to it. Now, why is this an issue? Why is this an issue for me? I don't have multi-monitor. So without having multi-monitor, that means that I have this basically in the way, and I can't get rid of it. As you can see, I can't really get rid of it in any form, and I have to tab in and out of it, which is why this is up here. This bar is up here. What does View and Slew do anyway? Let's have a look at it. So we've got two views. We've got two panels here. We've got camera view and slew mode. So what does camera view do? Well, the first thing we can do is click these things. They're doing something, as you can see. Cockpit view, pilot. Yeah, they're doing something there. Iterate through external views. We can click that to go through the views. And we've got some zoom controls, so you can zoom right the way in and zoom right the way out as well, and reset the views. How does the reset view work? I have no idea. And then go back into it. What else can you do with this? Well, you can, as you can see, you can move things around. Well, actually you can't see so well because this is in the way. Let's go through a different external view. Let's go for that one. You can move things around. There you go. You can see now we're looking at various angles of the aircraft. So you can see, for example, that angle. You're looking at that angle. So you can get the various angles of the aircraft. Oop, that's not what I'm supposed to show you. That's coming up later. That's going to be a little later in the video. Or we can go through, I suppose, let's see. We've got spot, but let's see if I switch that to locked spot. We should be able to there, now we can move around like so. So you can use this to move the aircraft around, which is, you know, that's alright. It's not too bad. Now you can look behind. I'm not sure how that exactly works, and you can some of these allow you to roll and pitch the aircraft, and you can get some decent views of the aircraft as and when you want. So you can see I can just press that to zoom out just a little bit at a time, or I can zoom out a fair amount. Okay, fair enough. You know, that's some sort of tool. Ooh, a little bit of shadow problems there. Hey Dovetail, got a slight bug for you to have a look at. I'm sure that'll be fixed very, very soon. Anyway, so that's one setup. The other one, again, I've brought that up. See, this is rapidly becoming a problem here. The other one we've got is Slew mode. Now, if you guys don't know what Slew mode is, it's a mode that's been built in on all ESP-based platforms. I'm sure it's on other platforms as well, but all the Flight Simulator, Prepared, and now Flight Sim World has this Slew mode, which is normally enabled with the Y key. With this, it's all in button mode, and once you're in Slew mode, as you can see, the simulation is essentially paused, and you can move the aircraft around as you wish. So you can see I'm moving it forward, I'm moving it backward, I can turn it left, I can turn it right. You can see I'm turning it left and turning it right. You know, anything you want to do with it, you can do. That's exactly what the Slew mode's all about. What I found is I can't stop Slew. There we go. So we can just stop the Slew like that, and you can bank the aircraft to the left and to the right as well. So you can see it's banking there. I can bank it back, so on and so forth. Stop that Slew, and it'll sort itself out. Pitch the aircraft up, down, move the aircraft up and down. So it's pretty good. I used to use the Slew when did I used to use it? I used to use it for approach planning. I used to take an aircraft, slew it way out to an approach that I wanted to do, and then fly that in over and over and over again. It was actually quite helpful. So that's what the Slew is for. You can use it, like I said, in the air or anywhere. So that's the view and Slew. Now, before I continue on that, I'm actually going to bring up the flight control, like so. And this is going to be my thumbnail for the episode. I think that's going to be a fairly good thumbnail. Like that. That's okay. There we go. Thumbnail. Yeah, done. Ta-da. Oh no, wait. I should probably move that out of the way because I'm going to have writing and stuff there. There we go. Okay, that's my thumbnail. Good. Okay, so going back to the view and Slew. I keep getting that view and view and Slew. VNS. Vertical speed. VS. That's what it is. VS. Right. My opinions on this. No. This, for me, is a pretty poor DLC. It costs, I think it's £7, so that's £6.99 sterling, which is about, I think, about $9 or $10 if you're getting this in the US. And for that price, it doesn't do anything that I would want it to do. In fact, essentially what it is, it's an interface. It's a UI that makes it easier, that's in inverted quotes, it makes it easier to set up camera views on your aircraft, get a nice shot of your aircraft, or slew your aircraft around. However, it is not in the sim. It's a separate entity, which means that you run into the issue that your standard run-in of the issues of it's not running in the same window, therefore you've got the split windows and so on and so forth. And as everybody knows who's used ESP simulators, tabbing in and out of an ESP simulator is a no-no. You don't do that because things can go wrong very quickly. It's one of the things about an ESP simulator. All of them have the same issue. If you tab in and out, something has a chance of going wrong. Now, I can't speak for X-Plane or anything like that, but I know this from experience. I've done it so many times. Tab in and out, everything breaks. Add-on aircraft might break. Certain sounds might break, certain physics might break, things will start lagging, it doesn't like it anymore. That's a big no-no. Normally what you do is you have this on multiple screens. Now I don't have multiple screens, so suppose you could drag this off to one screen on one side and have the simulator on the other screen. That's a bit better, but essentially you're still tabbing out of it when you're going in. Ideally you'd want this on a different computer, but what use is this? This is really not so much use because I'm going to show you now. This is so much easier for me. I'm using my hat switch on my joystick, and most of us have joysticks. If you don't have a joystick, space and mouse. Space bar, mouse button. We all have that. And that is so much easier for me. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can do whatever I want with this. And that's just how it's going to work. Let me get rid of the slew mode. There we go. Yes, I can zoom in, I can zoom out with the camera controls. it's all working absolutely fine. So why do we need an interface that's, in my opinion, not that. Again, this just gets in the way. It's very clunky. It's very big. It's incredibly big, and it doesn't do anything. It really doesn't do anything. It's just, I don't know. It's just not £7 for a few buttons that is not inside the sim. Not worth it. Just not worth it at all. So I think that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm just going to say on that. If I had to purchase this, thankfully I was given these to review. If I had to purchase this product, this FS Flight Controller View and Slew, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. What I was expecting is that, we can set up views. That's what I was expecting from this product, that we use this to set up really nice views, and then we can call those views back. And I was also expecting this to be opened up in the sim. I was expecting this to be a module in the sim that I can minimize, I can bring on from the add-ons menu, or by pressing control and something, it brings it up. That's what I was expecting. That's not what I got. So let's get rid of that now. Let's move on to the next one. This is a product. Oh, wow. Of course that was going to happen, wasn't it? This is a product that I tentatively, already I'm going to say, I do recommend. This is the flight control moving map for Flight Sim World. Now, I'm going to go a little bit more into how this product works, and I'm going to do a little bit of a flight now in a couple of moments. So, as you can see, lots and lots of tools over here. We've got zoom, we've got auto zoom, which I think is kind of fancy. So you can see that's now auto zoomed. We've got street map, we've got height map over there. We've got aircraft traces. We can center our aircraft. We've got weather info up the top, as you can see, partial or full. So that's wind direction, wind speed, visibility, temperature, and your barometric pressure. On top of that, we can actually get real weather information. So there we go. That's our actual weather information. 11 knots at 330. So you can see when that was actually last done. So 1750 Zulu on the 7th of the month. There you go. 330, 11 knots. Visibility 9999. Then we've got broken clouds at 28. So 2,800 feet. We've got broken clouds at 4,300 feet. We've got 6 degrees, temperature 6 degrees, dew point 5, QNH 1016. So, okay, fair enough. That's pretty helpful, especially if we manage to get real world weathering. That's all bringing us the whole meta. That's good. This is clever. I like this. I really do like this. What else is there to show on this? Well, you've got the user aircraft, as you can see right there, and it's like something you get over ATC. So you can see right now it's on the ground. That's my direction, 90, so I'm facing 90 degrees. That's my speed, true air speed. That's what the T's for, I believe. And you can see that that's showing 0, so I am stopped on the ground right now. You can see the airport, and it's got all the taxiways listed. Taxiway Foxtrot, Alpha, Golf, Juliet, Mike, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, all the way down Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, and all the way when Alpha goes all the way around. That's fancy. Yes, I would rather that they had that in boxes because it's kind of hard to read. Put that in a black box with the, just like you'd see on, outside out here. Put it like that. Yellow box, black writing, black box, yellow writing, something like that. That would be, in fact, that would really be helpful. Black box, yellow writing, you're doing very well. So if you do that, at least that's easier to read. You can see all the markings as well. You see the markings there for the ILS. You can see the markings for the terminal area. For the you can see the holding points and the ILS terminal area. So that's pretty handy as well. What else is there on this? I've opened up quite a few things. We've got the ILS here. What I'm going to show you is, there you go. You've got the runway, and then you can press that again, and it gives you the numbers for the runway. You've got the ILS. It shows you your ILS localize and glide, like so, on both sides. As you can see, how far it extends. Press it again, and it gives you the frequency and the identifier for it. That is clever. I like that. On top of that, if you right click over here on the airport and show map information, name. Echo Golf November X-ray, East Midlands, latitude, longitude, elevation, transition altitude 6,000 feet. Source file, I don't understand why that's needed. I don't think we need that. That can just go. Nobody needs to see that apart from developers. But this is cool. Approach, ATIS, the different approach frequencies for whichever different ways you're coming in from, the tower frequencies, the runway, the length of the runway, the heading, the type of runway, the ID, and the frequency. And the frequency for it. That is kind of important. So I'm fairly pleased that it has that. And like I said, it shows these as well, like this. Same thing with the VOR. Let's get rid of these. Taxi and parking. Go back here. You can see it's not there. Taxi and parking shows that. Press it again. Shows all the parking and where the tower is. And the numbers. Great. That works for me. Same for markers. But I'm going to show you a couple of other things. Right here, there's an NDB. Press it. There's the NDB. Shows the NDB as the icon. You can either press show map information, tells you the NDB, tells you what it is, tells you the range of it, 37.5 nautical miles, the frequency, 393 kilohertz, and the Morse code identifier. That's good. This is good for people who are doing IFR flights so far. Press it again, and it just shows you right there. You can just tune it in. So you've got your ILS, you've got your NDB. Say I want the VORs. Press that. Hey, look. There's all the VORs and DMEs coming up. So that is also the same VOR or DME that we're using. That's a terminal DME, I believe, for the approach. But if we look around, there's the Trent VOR, 115.7. There's another NDB right over here. There's an NDB right there, so you can press that. What is that? Tatton Hill. There's an NDB for that, 327. There's another NDB there. There's a bunch of stuff over here. This looks like that looks like a Vortac to me. Cranwell. Yeah, Cranwell right there. So you got all these various ones, and it's all correctly labeled. It's all correctly named. I'm quite happy about that. And like I said, you can just pop from VOR to VOR. You can get all that information very, very easily right in front of you. I'm very, very happy about that. We've got the compass rose, which is fairly good as well. So at least that tells you which way you're flying very, very easily. Happy about that. Measure, I haven't managed to get working. I'm not sure how to get that working. So, you know, there we go. But then obviously we can pull up the things like the street maps, which I had up earlier. This is fairly helpful for example, if you're doing VFR flying. Say like, okay, where are we going? Well, we're going to cross this. We're going to look, there's the railway station there. We're looking for this. We're looking for that. You know, you've got points of interest. Okay, we're looking for this airstrip. We're looking for this solar farm. We're looking for this park, so on and so forth. So, you know, that's how you can use that and use that to your advantage or to the advantage. I'm going to take off and I'm going to show you one other thing on this. And then I'm going to show you sort of what... Oh, look, there's another one again. EGNX, it labels it up. Then I'm also going to show you what I don't like about this product. This trace aircraft, I think, is fairly fancy. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit smaller. Like that. Because we don't need anything else. We're going to hop in our aircraft now. And we're just going to do a bit of a fly around. So just a very simple. Crank up the power. Flaps down 1. There we go. So I'm just going to take off. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to open up this while we're at it. And you can see the aircraft is moving. You can see that. And once I take off, you're actually going to see it's going to stop saying ground. There you go. 300 and something feet. You see that? So it does track your aircraft in real time, which is kind of cool. That's actually pretty nifty, pretty handy. The problem here is I want to bring my flaps up. So there go my flaps. Have my flaps gone up? Yes, they have. I want to bring my gear up. My gear won't go up. Why won't it go up? Because there's this is on and this is taking the keyboard input. as you can see. So that's not good, because then I have to click here, and now I can bring my gear in. So that's a problem. That's a definite problem. Now I'm back here. Right, ooh, I want to tune. Let's have a look. I remember a VOR up here. What was that VOR? 115.7. I want to tune 115.7. Click here. Immediately it's gone. It's come off again. So the product is in and out, and that's no good for me. So that's an issue. And for me, that's a big problem. And the other issue with it is that because it's running as it's running, obviously Flight Sim World is not liking running in a windowed mode like it's running right now. It doesn't like running in this windowed mode. It wants to be running full screen. That's causing issues. As we go past Ratcliffe Power Station. I swear there aren't supposed to be houses here, by the way. Not here. There's supposed to be houses right there. That's where houses are supposed to be, not where we've got them right now. But anyway, you can see the issue that I'm now running into. So we've got that. Now what's fancy about this is if I get rid of that, look at that. That's actually quite fancy. It's telling me my track, it's telling me which way I'm flying. Everything's going pretty nicely. It's very well done. This part of it, when it runs, is very well done. Look, we've got East Midlands, we've got 393. We can always tune that in. So we're like, oh yeah, what's the NDB for this area? Well, we've got 393. So okay, let's tune in 393. So we can do that, and we can go, okay, 393. If you don't know how to use this, by the way, do have a look at my video that's coming out tomorrow. I'll be teaching you about NDBs, a little bit more practice on VORs and the ILS. So do check that out tomorrow. So I've tuned that, but now I have to tab back into this, and that again is a pain. So it's like, okay, what's the ILS for this airport? Well, the ILS is 109.35. You can see it right there. Okay, I want to tune 109.35. Again, I can't just click here and tune it. I have to now click back into the window and go 109.35. And there we go. Now you're going to see the ILS come alive. And you can see now the Flight Sim World is lagging a bit. It doesn't like it. It is not liking having to be running the way it is. It's not comfortable with it. And I can actually feel input lag at the moment. And that's not good. So I'm actually feeling input lag here. And for someone like me, who I've played a lot of games, a lot of shooters and stuff like that, I know what input lag feels like, and this is input lag now. And why am I feeling input lag? Because it's running in windowed mode with another program on top of it that isn't integrated into the sim. So where does this come in handy? Well, honestly, again, on a multiple screen, this would be very handy, because what you do is you just say, oh, okay, as you can see, our glide slopes sort of died as we're passing over the halfway mark. It doesn't know what to do. What if this is running on a separate screen? This would be really handy, because you can just set it up to do something or other, and it would be absolutely fine. I'm having flight control issues with my aircraft again. Come on. Come on, aircraft. Stop doing what you're doing. But anyway, so you could have this on a separate screen and it would come in very handy. It's very handy, the information it supplies. The information it gives is also incredibly handy. But it's kind of failing on the front of, well, wow, I'm really having difficulty. I don't know why it does this. It fails on the front of being integrated into Flight Sim World. Now, if this was available on, say, Android or something like that, then I would be saying, yeah, that's actually really good. Or you could connect this through a network to another computer and run this on a separate computer, that would be really handy. Look, I've got all my flight information, everything I've got all around the world, not just obviously UK, it works all around the world, over here on this one computer. That's literally my flight computer. And then all my other stuff, all the actual flying is happening on this computer. That would be really, really super. It doesn't have that, so that makes it a problem. That does make it a problem. This is a decent piece of kit. It's a decent program. It really is a decent program. But it's suffering from that lack of integration. That's what it's suffering from. Would I purchase this program? Honestly, the moving map, yeah, I actually would. I actually would probably purchase it, if not to use as a moving map, to have it as a reference point for all my planning, all my flight planning. The problem is that these things are available, flight planning is available for free on something like SkyVector, and that includes all of these things. Watch this. Airspace, airways high with all the names, airways low with all the names. So all of that is available on SkyVector, for example. And so that brings into question, is it worth however much it costs? I think this costs $14.99. Is it worth the $14.99? If this was integrated into Flight Sim World as a module, I would say I would definitely be buying this. This would be definitely a product I would buy. But because it isn't, it makes it something that I have to consider twice. It really does have to be, it does make it something that I have to consider twice. And there is one other issue with this. I have a feeling it's using up way too much power. Way too much processing power. And I know you guys might be thinking, how can you be so sure? I work with computers, or I have worked with computers a lot. It seems to be using up a lot of processing power. Not just processing power, but I feel as it feels like my computer's got a memory leak. The longer I use it, the more sort of laggy things become. Now that might be, again, it might be just Flight Sim World struggling, and that's causing all the issues, because it's the whole idea of it being in a window and stuff like that. That could be exactly it. That could be very much the problem. However, it's a problem nonetheless, and you can see that my circuit isn't brilliant, but this is one thing that I do like it for. I think the ideas of having the traces is really, really cool. It is really, really cool to have that. Now, that brings me to the absolute final issue on this, as I turn in onto final. As I turn in on final, I'm going to go over the final issue. The final issue is, this map, moving map, should it not be available in Flight Sim World as default, just like we had available in the likes of Flight Simulator 10? We have a map that could track with these traces and all that stuff in Flight Simulator 10. As I've gone past the localizer as well, I was trying to get established. So, what is this worth that $14.99? Like I said, if it was available as a module in Flight Sim World, and if it was available as something we could put remotely on a separate screen, yes, it would be. I would actually purchase this. I would definitely be purchasing it. But see, now I have to tab out here to bring my landing gear down. See, now to bring my gear down, I have to move out of that, and I can't actually track that again. This is where the issues come in for me, personally, for me anyway. Maybe you guys might not agree with me, in which case I want to hear this. I want to hear what do you guys think of this all? Is it a good idea? Do you like this? I mean, I think the product itself has plenty of information. It's very good. It's a good navigation aid, but I don't think the integration of it is brilliant. And for the price, I would expect to be able to set up routes and all that kind of stuff in here, which again I can't do. I can't do that, so that's something it's something I personally have to just look at and say, is this worth it for me? Now obviously I could just zoom in here now. Now this is, it's kind of helpful here when you're learning how to do this. Again, I'll be showing this in a tutorial, the whole ILS landing. So it is helpful in that sense, but not a huge amount. And that's something I have to be wary of. So would I recommend purchasing this? Well, I would say this one is completely up to you guys. It has its uses. It certainly has its uses. It's good. It's very, very in-depth. There is a lot of information there. So for that, I think, yeah, there's a lot of good information there. But its integration into Flight Sim World is not brilliant, and I would have preferred them to have a much better integration into Flight Sim World. That would have been a lot better. As for the View and Slew, I wouldn't see myself using that ever. But maybe you guys do, and if you do, again, let me know. It's interesting. For me, this is interesting whilst I bring this aircraft down. So I'm going to end the video there. And we're down. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Flight Sim World. Leave a comment in the comments box below. Let me know what you think of this download, this DLC, and the View and Slew. I've given you my opinions. I'd like to hear yours. Both can be purchased on Steam, so there you go. And hopefully this has given you an insight into sort of how it works and what is available. And as you can see, just to show you, it does have the entire world. It's not just Britain, it's everywhere, the whole world. So they have done a good job there. Last but not least, do support me on Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. I would massively appreciate your support. It would help me out a huge amount. You know what, I did not do too badly on that circuit whilst talking and using this add-on. Not too bad. Anyway, I think I'll end that there. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys next time in Flight Sim World.